the conversation around mothers changed in the last few years? We have a panel to talk about one of my favorite subjects, real motherhood. No one has done it quite as honestly as the show Working Moms. Please welcome star and creator Catherine Reitman. We also have freelance writer and media commentator B. Kwame joining us. I would be remiss if I did not talk about social media sensations with their mom truths videos, Kat and Nat. I love you all deeply because you all keep it very real, and anyone who knows me in real life or on TV or on Instagram knows that I like to put it all out there, the good, the bad, and the ugly, and I think that helps us all feel normal in our journey as moms. So when Working Moms came on the scene, I remember thinking, oh my goodness, I haven't seen anything out there like this that is showing the truth, all the dirty, ugly stuff that we, you know, our mothers didn't. Yeah, the dirty, ugly. The stuff that our mothers didn't necessarily talk about, but you're talking about now, and I just want to show a clip. We're going to show a clip from the new season right now. Take a look.
Is it true your nose swells?
1 out of 3 women, yeah.
Okay, you don't have a license?
Will my nipples go back to normal?
That's a hard no. They're gonna get longer and coarser, get more sensitive.
Please don't write that down.
But don't worry, you'll get through it in one piece. Your marriage, on the other hand, not so much. One of these guys is gonna cheat. It's just math. My money's on this guy.
When you sat down and thought about creating this show, what was happening in your life? Were you feeling like that didn't exist for you and that's why you wanted it out there?
Absolutely. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but when I became a new mother, I had a pretty severe identity crisis.
Yes.
Everything that I had nurtured up to the point of becoming pregnant seemed all of a sudden to take a back seat to this new Insta role of motherhood, this sort of religious experience. And frankly, I just never felt, I still don't feel like I fit what a mother is supposed to look, feel, you know, be.
Yes.
And so part of the reason of making the show was to show flawed, real moms doing their best.
Okay, I love that. Kat and Nat, you've been all about normalizing the tantrum. You've been all about talking about when you want to actually kick your children out of the house or alternatively move out of your own house.
Yes.
So
daily, this morning actually.
The realness, did that start right out the gate, or did sort of the way you talk about motherhood change based on what you were getting back from people wanting more?
You know what's so crazy is when we started into this world, our Instagram, if you look back, was very much, we tried to do crafts. Let me tell you. And then the camera would scene and we would like it would be
crafts and cooking and meal planning.
And then the swearing would start the minute the camera, like it was, no, we tried it and it didn't fit us. And the minute we kind of put it out there on Instagram and on YouTube and Facebook, the minute we started to grow because people were like, thank you. And the amount of messages we get of people saying, I'm not alone. I feel so alone. I can't believe this is happening to you too. And I'm like, girl, it is happening. It is standard. If you see a kid throwing it down, everyone's had that happen.
The only problem is the more positive feedback we get about being so open about it, the more we totally lose our inhibitions and start talking and talking. And our parents and our sisters and husbands are like, it's my life too. They want to get all out there.
Yeah,
right.
no, I think that it's the minute. I think people are craving just a realness because it doesn't exist. It was Pinterest, and now which was perfectionism, and that was really hard for a lot of us who entered into the world who can't craft and make quinoa pancakes out of pandas. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
You can't do that.
I can't do that. I can barely I'm doing like butter noodles with salt right now. You know what? That's my day, 3 times a week.
And that's why it's so nice to see your show on television, because we see it on social media being able to be a lot more open, but to watch your show on TV and see that, it's such a good example for moms.
You know what I find interesting is that, B, when we were talking, you said you actually think this whole idea of the real parenting actually hasn't even gone far enough.
Yeah.
You want to see even more. What would you like to see out there in the discourse when it comes to parenting?
I want to see more around the real impacts of it. I mean, we see a lot of, we talk about perfectionism, but we talk about, social media and Instagram being kind of the highlight reel of things. Not saying you've got to Instagram your babies like poopy diapers and Instagram you bawling at 3 in the morning because they won't sleep, unless you want to, that's fine. But I look at women like Serena Williams. I look at women like Beyonce, and these are women who we think they're in this other stratosphere. They have access to things I couldn't even dream of having access to. But seeing Serena open up about postpartum issues, seeing her talk about having to kind of advocate to save her own life after she delivered her baby, and having those real conversations and realizing how much they impact all of us just through this one experience, and really bringing that to the forefront, because I think a lot of the times when things are not going right, we feel alone. We feel a lot of shame. And I think just continuing to bring more of those conversations out to light to show that you're not alone and there's nothing to be ashamed of.
Right.
I think will just make us a lot more healthier, happier moms. We might not be able to get more money or more access, but we'll be able to build better supports.
A community.
Absolutely.
A community of motherhood, right?
So it's being even more real. So it's sort of past the, oh my gosh, they're driving me crazy, and I got to down a half a liter of wine tonight too. I'm actually in a whole life funk because I don't recognize myself anymore, and I don't know what to do about it. It's tough with social media because it's almost like if you're too real and too depressing, people will call you out on that. It's sort of, and you're right, maybe we need to make space for that, because it is very, even in the realness, it's still very beautiful, the realness. Like when I see Chloe throwing down in a grocery store aisle, that's her baby. And it still looks cute to me.
I know.
The picture's still cute.
Yeah.
So maybe, there's room for us to be even more real.
It's not just the realness, I think it's also how we're treating each other. Like I am the first to admit that I'm such a judgmental person. I've made a living at making fun of people. I find such pleasure in it because that's sort of how I was trained. But it's really just a defense mechanism, right? Because I feel so much shame and broken inside. Like kind of like what you were saying, B. If we took a moment and had a little more compassion for each other.
It's a community. We're all missing, and like our whole platform is to build that community because we all feel alone, but we all do it differently. But every single one of us loves our kids the exact same, and if we can forget everything else, that we go home, and you may do it differently, and I may, but when I look at my kids and you look at your kids, they love us the same and you love them the same, and that's all that matters.
It's about learning from each other too, knowing that we do things differently, and maybe I'm really struggling with the way I am parenting in this moment, and having a conversation or seeing something and thinking about maybe shifting the way I do it, and not knowing that, okay, that looked very different for me, but I put it into my own life and my own practice with my kids, and that might be what works. So it really helps.
I'm going to throw this out there.
Here we go.
Do you think we have gone too far? Is there any, what's your limit? What's your limit on what you would show of your kid or about your parenting experience? Because at a certain point, you're like, I've got a 10-year-old now, and he is now saying, no, that picture doesn't go out. And that's his story to share. I have to be okay with that because he's going to go to the playground, and I don't know if his friends' parents are following me, and I don't want to do anything to humiliate him or embarrass him. And I also don't want them looking back and thinking, wow, she hated being my mom. That stuff's there forever. So is there ever a point where you see people going too far, or where you've put something out there and you think, ooh, I wish I could take that back? I throw that out to anybody. I
have so much compassion and understanding for any mom who posts her children online. Only because, I mean, look, I've made a living from this. I'm sensing a pattern. Because the more we kind of share our own experience as parents, I feel like other parents are coming forward and relating to that. And look, there's a cost to being my child. Period. You want to go to your school, you want these clothes, there's love that comes with it, but also I get to share the stories of the sacrifices I had to make as a mother.
Because that's your story.
That's my story. We also share stories as women. Like, it's not about our children. Nothing we do is about our children, although our children are involved, but it's our story as a woman and as a mother. And we travel across North America right now for our tour, and we talk to a lot of women, and you know, parenting has changed where women are never doing more than anything, and never more than doing ever, and feeling like they're failing at everything. That's an actual statistic that we feel more insecure in parenting than ever. And I feel like we've taken on so much, and now we're trying to be real too. We're all trying to
be perfect, but also be flawed.
Be flawed. The thing that we got really lucky with is that we do this together, and we have 7, so we can just talk anonymously about one of the 7.
One of these girls.
With mine, there are two little ones. I've got 2 girls, 4 and 1, and I know that as much as social media has changed the game now, by the time they're 10, 14, 16, I don't know what that whole sphere is going to look like. So there's different things that I do. I don't put their real names on social media. I think they're adorable, so I love to post pictures, but I give them nicknames. Little Magician is my 4-year-old, Little Bird is my 1-year-old. And just to kind of protect them that way. And I think that when I decide what is my boundary, I always think, will I be able to explain this to them later?
Right.
So thinking about, yes, when they get to the point of saying, no, Mom, don't put that, that's great. But right now, my daughter wants to be famous on YouTube. Of course. And I'm trying to navigate that with her. But I think, will I be able to explain this to them down the road and explain where I was and what this meant and the fact that I love them and, you know, all of that. If I can't explain that in that moment, maybe I hold back.
Maybe I hold back. Oh, I love that. Well, this is some huge news right here, and I'm so excited for Catherine and the team from Working Moms. You heard it here first. This is an exclusive. Working Moms Season 1 is going to be available on Netflix worldwide on February 22nd. We are so proud of you for that.
Thank you.
Season 1 and Season 2 is on Netflix Canada right now. And of course, you can find Working Moms always on CBC Thursdays at 9 p.m. It's Season 3 right now. So brand new season kicked off, and congratulations to you.
Thank you, honey.
And thank you to the entire panel team.